Obviously, it's been a while since we've been here. Obviously, very excited to have Terrence Shannon's got a big week. Had a big week last week, and the announcement that DIA and men's basketball will hang his jersey just does nothing but bring a smile to my face. One of the outstanding seasons in the history of Illinois basketball, we obviously know there were some postseason accolades that didn't happen that would have, and very, very excited about that for him, and very deserving, and so excited for his week this week, what that will look like. I think it'll be a Wednesday deal, but we'll see as we progress through that. We've had 8 or 9 workouts now, I guess, this summer. We obviously don't have everybody. There was an announcement yesterday. Obviously, everybody was talking about Will's not here yet, and then we're moving with Tomislav. Still not here yet as he finished just getting through the admissions process and handling that. But KJ, as we call him, is here. And so he joined us early last week and got through all of his physicals and the process he had to get on the court. So he's been with us as well. It's been a very busy spring, as we knew when we put last year's team together that there was going to be a lot of new faces in next year's team. We were very old. That paid off in a Big Ten tournament championship, an Elite 8 run, a little short of where we wanted to go, to be very honest. But I did think we were a Final Four team that just happened to hit UConn in the Elite 8. But all those guys have moved on for the most part, and we feel like we've tapped just about every market in terms of the European market, with some high school kids, with a transfer portal. I love the talent. We're obviously going to look a little bit different in terms of we're not quite as old. But I think there's a lot of diversity, a lot of the guys that versatility-wise give us the ability to do a lot of things. We've been very specific in what we've tried to hit in the portal, positional size and shooting. Obviously, we were very efficient on the offensive end last year. I think finishing 3rd. And we're first going into the UConn game, so we'll continue to try to play that way fast and in a way that we can take advantage of mismatches with a very much an open court. So our staff should be commended on just doing an incredible job all the way around. Every single staff member was huge in terms of what they brought. I've said it, I get to stand up here and talk to you guys, and these guys are the best in the business at what they do. So, Jeff and Tim and now Orlando have all hit the ground running and been spectacular in terms of acquiring talent and what next year's team looks like. So, I like this group. I think there's going to be some growth. We're going to play a tremendous schedule, maybe the best ever. I think that's exciting. I think that it's exciting to be in a part of some of these games, and that the national media, the TV networks like us, and that's a big thank you to our fans because they do travel. But it's also, I think, put us in that status that we're pretty good, and people think a lot of us. So I'm excited about our schedule and this group. So, Mayor, I'll just let you guys fire away.
What was the process like with Will, obviously transitioning O's efforts over here, and what do you think made a great fit for both sides?
Yeah, and I should talk about Will, and you know, he's, I think you were there watching the game that we saw, and you know, Orlando's obviously had a tremendous connection with UPlay, going back to a young man that they signed there, and it was just a great fit. I think in terms of what we were looking for, he's a very, very talented offensive player. He is a young man that scores it at all three levels. He does it at 6'8", 6'9". I would say the definition of positionless is him. He's shown that he can be an elite playmaker, shooter off the bounce, finisher. You know, everybody wants to say he's thin. Okay, there's some of that. It's probably true, but boy, he's a very good athlete, a former high jump champion. So he was a great fit. They had a great visit. I think there's no doubt that Adam Fletcher, what we do in the world of nutrition and strength and conditioning is the best in the country. I think that was a factor, and you know, I think he's a guy that whatever the time frame is, 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is, will be a very long-term pro if he has the ability to stay healthy. So very excited about him, and again, Orlando's connections were of huge importance, and then they came here and just style of play and a lot of new faces. You know, not a guy that's back, you know, a Terrence or Coleman that's back. You know, I think all played into his choices.
Brady got a lot of talent, but a lot of that talent hasn't proven itself yet at this level. So what's that competition like? What's that mean for your program and for you throughout this offseason and season?
Yeah, you know, I think it's a little bit different. I do think Kylan's been pretty well proven. You know, he's been coached at a really high level. You know, he's played, you know, a ton of big games. And I do think, you know, Trey has been, he's been through it. I mean, he's 50-plus starts in his career. Obviously had a great freshman campaign at USC. But I think there's, you know, that's the fun part. You know, I think is I would much rather have guys that have the talent and the ability to go do some things. You know, we've got some European guys that have played at a very, very high level, and you know, that is a wealth of knowledge, and the competition, you know, I think makes their transition a little easier. But you know, you bring Ty back, you bring Draven back. Ty obviously started, you know, what did we play last year? 30-some games, 39 to 38 games, whatever it was. You know, I think he's, you know, Draven was moving the needle forward at the end of the season and playing a lot. So, you know, it's all going to fit together. It's you know, there'll be some growing pains. There's no doubt. As I always say, that, you know, the defensive side is the hardest side to learn. But you know, we feel like we've got a group that fits, and that we're not going to have to search as much on the offensive side to find those fits.
For somebody like Will, who's reclassifying up, what are the boxes that can check in your mind that make him ready for something like that?
He's ready. He's as ready as anybody we've had. In my opinion, there's an it factor with him. He's just got it, you know, and the game's easy for him. And I think the night he had, you know, 40 plus in the game we saw, it wasn't where he was being hungry. He was playing within the framework of what they gave him, and played a team that was very physical, that was trying to face guard him. He didn't have to search it. He just made basketball plays, and so I think that that part of things is easy for him. I think that he's got a gift on that side to score it in a lot of ways, and he's very competitive. His IQ, Very, very high. So I think there's a mental component. He's 18. It's not where he's a 17-year-old as Kylan was. I think that year helps, but very excited about his upside. I think he's got a ceiling and gives us a ceiling that can be very, very high on that end of the court.
You've coached
among these newcomers, and there's a lot of them. Are there one or two you would single out as standing out to you in these early workouts?
You know, I mean, I think you see the fact that Trey has a lot of experience. He's been a big body guy. Ben, although he rolled his ankle last Friday, you know, Ben's a guy that's been you know, elite shooting it, great spacer. He's got more game than maybe we even thought. You know, it's you know, Kylan's come in here with an unbelievable attitude. He's lost 20 pounds since he's arrived here. Jake Davis has lost a good amount of weight. Jake he's got a strap. He can really shoot it, and again, a better player than maybe we first anticipated. But Merez joined us coming off his gold medal, so I guess he's been with us a little over a week now. We play 30 minutes every day, 5-on-5, pickup type games where games are structured and we actually have coaches coaching them. We started that last year, and Merez has led us in rebounding every single day. So he's impacted us. He's 242 pounds, very physical. You know, Kerry Booth is, you know, we're in awe of his athleticism. You know, every day he's Fletch's best friend right now, just in terms of see how many waffles he can eat every day, and gain some weight. But everybody's done some really good things, and you know, again, it's a time where we're doing a lot of teaching, but more importantly, we're playing. So we really want to rev up their competitive juices and then develop some chemistry with these guys through playing.
You've coached a lot of international players in your day, and this is a roster full of them. What are you mindful of when you bring in players from outside the United States and coach them?
Yeah, I think one of the big challenges is there's so many positives. One, but I think that one of the challenges is, you know, like in Casper's, they run a lot of sets. So now we're trying to pick up tempo and play fast. We play games now with 18-second shot clocks, with 20-second shot clocks, and yet we see his athleticism. You know, that's always an adjustment for some international guys. Is, you know, they get on their teams and there's a lot of I don't want to say slower pace, but there's a lot of sets and trying to flow. But very high IQ. All those guys, they're extremely well. They're extremely sound in their fundamentals. And you know, in this case, he can really shoot it, pass it, dribble it. Obviously, we feel that about Thomas Love. You know, playing at a very, very high level. Anybody can watch the film and know what his skill set is. So, you know, and again, Will's been in the States, so he's acclimated a little bit.
How do you manage a lot of talent? Last year you came in, guys knew their roles. Now you have 10 kind of new guys. How do you manage that?
That's
talent
fun.
expectations?
That's fun. It's you know, I'm not going to buy that you can have too much. That's a cop out. That's for people to say that, or people that don't have it. And we'll figure it out. It always works itself out. I think that we've spent a ton of time studying character, studying guys that we know fit what we're doing. We've been very decisive, I think, in trying not to waver on character, on talent, and the specific needs of these guys. So we do have versatility. We can, you know, play really big. You know, you could see Ben play the three. You could see a smaller backcourt. You could see, you know, a lot of things happen. We've done that within being intentional, and I hope we have a group where we've got 8, 9, 10 guys that are starters, and let's go compete, and let's make practice. We had 3 bad practices yet last year out of 107, 3. 2 of them were before Penn State. So no wonder we lost that game. We're going to have that same thing this year. Our practices are, you don't perform in practice, just come set. I'm good with that. And I like that. I like having that, the talent to know there's not a huge drop off there.
Saw some video, short video of Ty shooting some jumpers. Is that an area of emphasis for him?
Oh, he's been relentless. I mean, it's 1,500 a day. We've got a new machine, or a new technology machine called a NOAA that's in the gym. It's facial recognition. It talks to you on every shot. You know, it tells you your arc, the depth you're shooting it. That piece there has helped him tremendously. We've made a slight technique change in him, but to his credit, he's worked on it. There hasn't been a day, and I haven't looked at today's yet, but there hasn't been a day yet in pickup that he hasn't made a 3. So he's getting more comfortable, and am I say he's ever going to be Steph Curry? He's not, but he's getting really comfortable doing it, and that's just adding a dimension to his game.
Tom Sullivan said he's gone through the admissions process.
Going through it.
Do you have a timeline roughly for when that will?
Any day. Any day we're at their mercy here. He's just gotten everything in. So
Brett, I think most of us are amazed at the season Terrence had, given everything he was going through. What's it mean for you to see him get honored, and what does it mean, or what have you heard from NBA teams? What's been your interactions with them?
a lot. I think this is going to be an interesting draft. I think there's been a lot of teams have been around here throughout the spring, doing their research, talking to, everybody in town. They've all found out the same thing, what a wonderful young man Terrence is, what a great teammate he is. The numbers speak for themselves. The improvement speaks for itself. A kid that was basically told a year ago, come back and work on your 3, and shot 37% compared to the 28 he did the year before. But where he goes, I don't know. I think this could be I think this draft is better than what a lot of people think, I do think that he's going to be in the first round for sure, and we'll see. Some people have said maybe as high as 8, 10. I don't know, but we'll go up Wednesday and support him and spend some time with him, and really excited about that, and just a young man that handled everything as professionally and as tough-minded and as caring as anybody can be through the process. And I'm not going to sit here and try to put words in his mouth. It could not have been an easy situation, but boy, his teammates were there to support him. He was there to support his teammates, and it's going to be a great week for Terrence Shannon.
Fred, you said you never have enough talent. Can you ever have too many tough non-conference games?
Sound like my wife. You know what? I think it's to answer your question, no. I think players want to play in big games, and I think it speaks to the level that believe me, I don't forget the first 2 years when we couldn't find a national television game, or we couldn't find an opportunity to play some of these games, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunities. It's how we're building this program and continuing to build it, keep it elevated. It's through great scheduling, having the opportunities to play in some marquee events and some marquee games. I've always said we're never going to shy away from playing anybody, anywhere, anytime. We keep recruiting to try to put guys in these situations where they're going to play against the best, not only in the Big Ten, but get them well prepared for the Big Ten by our non-conference schedule.
What do you think will translate the best for Terrence at the next level? What could make
Well, I think defensively he's a stalwart. I think defensively he's got a chance to impact the NBA game right away. I think his ability to guard on the ball, his athleticism, his physicality, 6'6", 220, great athleticism. But I think the one thing that everybody will fall in love with very quickly is his competitive spirit. I mean, he is, if you're playing Uno with him, he's trying to rip your head off, and let alone on the court. So I think the teams will as they get to know him, whatever team drafts him, that competitive spirit will definitely come out. And he's obviously a guy who can go get an easy basket in transition with that speed, and he's obviously proven he can make threes, so that'll be an attribute.
The teaching piece this summer, how different is that than last year when you had more back, and what are you emphasizing at this point in the summer with that?
Yeah, the month of June is really a lot of individual stuff and really just talking spacing. We haven't got into a lot of the specifics. We'll pick up that after the 4th, in terms of just some actions but a lot of footwork. Same thing we did last year. Last year we obviously had the 10 practices where we had no time limit on those practices, so we could get a little more specific with that trip. We don't have that, but that's okay as well. But this is really kind of ground floor teaching. We've emphasized spacing. We're trying to play very fast, so we reduce shot clock games, from a 20-second to an 18-second. We do shot selection games where you get a reward for a catch and shoot three. We want to shoot more threes next year. We need to shoot more threes next year. It's for us to be good. I think 38% of our attempts this year were threes. We need to be north of 42% of our shots threes. And we've recruited this team to be able to go do that and open that paint up. And so it's going to be a priority, and those are all things we've spent a lot of time talking about.
Brad, if Coleman's going to go somewhere that's not here, are you happy it's your alma mater?
Yeah, it's. I want him to go where he felt like he could be a major contributor. Obviously, I know a lot of people there, and the Wildcats are always close to the heart as a former player and coach there. But happy for him and happy for them. They're getting a really, really good player. I've said it. Coleman's a savant when it comes to basketball, and he'll help them. And help those players in terms of his knowledge, his understanding, his ability to manage a scouting report is as good as anybody I've had. So yeah, he's in a good place, and the fans and the people obviously care about him a lot.
Right, it feels like you figured out how you want to play with the positional size, shooting, all of that. But the ability to get talent, how much has that changed over the last couple of years for this program?
A lot. Yeah, and I don't want to downplay anybody who's been here, but I also, I think it's, I don't want to get wrapped up in how many stars a guy's got by his name. I think it's much about the character, the fit. But obviously, we're blessed here. We've got an athletic director that's provided us with a State Farm Center that's been renovated, and the Oven Complex has been renovated. Facility-wise, we're in a great spot. And now we've done our job. And what they hired us to do here was to win some games, and we've been able to do that. Being a 1 seed, playing on national television. You guys have no idea. I don't know what the dollar value is for marketing, playing on national television and CBS and in these games, but from the recruiting side of things, that's notoriety. We can't ask for any more. You asked, why do you want to play those? Absolutely for that. And then we've been able to win some of those games and our fair share. So I think when everybody wants to be a part of a winning program, we fought that early here, trying to change this. I mean, we had a lot of misses, a ton of misses in the recruiting game, and winning helps all of that. But you know, it's not just me; it's a lot of people involved in helping us win, so that we can continue to get the best players and be involved, and we continue to keep knocking on those doors of the best players. And you know, there's no mistaking, as we walked off the court in that last game, I said, if that's what a national championship team looks like, then we got a little bit to go. And that's just being real. That 30-0 run was not very fun, and there wasn't much to do to stop it. Now, we were a better team than that on that day. We're not on that day, but that was a really talented team. You're probably looking at a team that has 2 top 5 or 6 picks. So, yeah, it's helped us a bunch.
Any thoughts on revenue share and possible changes to NIL, how that may impact your program?
Yeah, I think we'll all have to see how it. I think there's big decisions coming all around college sports. I think it's obviously the settlement. There'll be some sort of revenue sharing. We know what that ultimately looks like. I don't know yet, and I truly don't know how it will play out. I think it's a lot to be determined here, not only within the national scene, but within Josh's and the administration's decisions on what that all looks like.
I know it's early, but leadership, I imagine Ty's a guy you're looking to. Who else maybe that would emerge there for you guys?
Yeah, I think we're starting to see even some of the new guys really step forward. I think Kylan, you know, is starting to feel comfortable. I think now it's more guys kind of leading by example. This group's worked really hard. We've been really impressed with their commitment. I think Ben's a guy. I think Trey's a guy. Draven is ultra competitive and now knows that one works harder than Draven. So you know, I think we're just all starting to see kind of everybody kind of feel comfortable, and that will progress as the summer goes on.
When does Will get here? Do you know?
We do not. So again, just going through the application process with the university, admissions. He's got a little bit of an advantage having gone to a high school in the States. So that process we hope is sooner than later. But yeah, we got our hands tied on that.
Sounds like scrimmaging rules may change a little bit. Do you have a thought on a public scrimmage or an opponent?
A lot of them. I think we can have 2 of them. I think that's something that Joey and I and the administration have talked about. I would love to, I don't know where he got, create an opportunity to load these guys up in a bus and go to a different community and practice and do some of those things. I think the opportunities to, you know, with what we did last year with Kansas was phenomenal. I think that I'm still a huge fan of the close scrimmages. So we'll see as we play through all that. But I think there's some opportunity to really help our program, and then get out and do some other things around the state.
Expanded NCAA tournament may become real? Positive, negative, neutral on it?
I'll probably stay pretty neutral on it until I study what they go to. You know, I'm kind of a traditionalist in some sense. I like the format. I don't know whether they'll go to more play-in games. I don't know what that does. You start running into some timing issues because I think with playing the last day on Sunday and playing games now, do you go Monday, do you go on Tuesday, how do teams get there? I think all those things have to be figured out. It's a little more complex than just saying we're going to add some teams, but I would expect we'll with what they've done with the CFP I would expect there would probably be some sort of expansion coming, if I had to guess.
Right, I'm not sure you thought you should have had one already, but what would it mean for your program to have a first-round draft pick?
It's always great, man, and you know, I don't think there's any downside to that. I think that's another thing that we can continue to sell prospects on. I think we've got the best development program in the country. Obviously, you know, Fletch and the facilities and helping guys get ready for that level. But for Terrence, you know, to be that guy, you know, just to see his development since he got on our campus, you know, obviously the tough spot, but to see something like that happen for him would be great. It's going to be great for our program any way we look at it.
How close are you on a full non-conference slate?
I think we've got one left to get, and we're close. We're close. So I think, you know, we've got some different challenges this year. Obviously, playing Duke. You know, when we're playing them, you know, we've got to have some help from the league, as they do on their side in terms of moving some things, and you know, so we'll see what all that plays out. But I think we've got one more game to get. We're pretty close, I think, on that as well. Thank you.
Appreciate it.